The 2025 edition of the ICTEL Expo rides on the theme Leveraging Technology for Innovation and Development in Africa, providing an avenue for tech enthusiasts, policymakers and entrepreneurs to learn about the digital trends shaping both current and future jobs, businesses and economies.
Thank you so much. I know there are a lot of other...
The conference on ICT and telecommunications also sets the tone for conversations on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, data and infrastructure to remind attendees that Africa's future lies in how well we use technology to solve our own problems.
Around the world, we see how technology is redefining productivity, reforming institutions and reshaping economies. In developed nations, artificial intelligence, robotics, innovative infrastructure, blockchain, and precision agriculture are no longer the future, they are the present. The fourth industrial revolution is not waiting for anyone. And here in Africa, despite structural challenges, we have an unparalleled opportunity to leapfrog outdated systems and embrace digital transformation with useful energy, which we have in abundance, bold vision, and adaptive ingenuity. Our continent has what many parts of the world envy: a rapidly growing, tech-hungry youth population, a blank slate in several industries, and an unmatched hunger for solutions that truly work for us. The big question is no longer can we innovate, but how boldly, how quickly, and how impactful are we willing to act?
The global wave of innovation is already creating ripples across industries. And as Africa's population grows younger and more digitally connected, so does its opportunity to lead in innovation. But that means building strong digital infrastructure, encouraging homegrown solutions, and tackling issues like digital literacy, access, and cybersecurity head-on.
Our startup ecosystem raised over $400 million in 2024. The ICT sector now contributes nearly 20% to our national GDP. This progress is not by chance. It is the result of intentional government policy, bold entrepreneurial talent, and strategic investments in innovation infrastructure.
At the heart of this year's conversation is artificial intelligence, the buzzword transforming everything from agriculture and healthcare to education and even entertainment across the continent. But beyond the hype, there's a growing need to ask critical questions, like how do we ensure Africa is not left behind? And how do we develop our own talent, build relevant AI systems, and regulate its use responsibly? In one of the sessions, a panel of forward-thinking innovators, researchers, and entrepreneurs dive deep into these questions.
There are three things that come together in terms of the digital infrastructure mix. You've got to have the right kind of power to power. You've got to have the right kind of connectivity or the connectivity ecosystems. Fiber penetration, actually meaningful broadband penetration, and you've got to therefore have the data centers. And it's when you have these that brings the capacity in. Okay, now that's what data centers do, and I hope I've described it for the layers. Our world revolves around these buildings, and what's also happened over the years is that the demand for cloud has grown significantly. But most of these data centers are in Europe or the UK and US. Just to put something in perspective, Africa has 18% of global population. Actually, I think it keeps going up. I think it's probably moving to 19 over 17, is 18, probably 19. We have about 4% of global GDP. I always call that the prosperity gap. Because if you look at the amount of data center infrastructure that is installed in Africa, it's about just over 1%. That's the digital gap, of which we need to fill to close the prosperity gap. Because digital is a key thing that closes that prosperity gap.
Are we building innovators or just passive consumers or users? I would say that we are building values, but we still have a long way to go. Yeah. We have a lot of consumers, yes, a lot of consumers, but we have started building innovators. But the thing is that we are not at that level where, as a nation, we can say that we are creating our own AI models. But when I say AI models now, I'm trying talking about LLM really, but there are different models we are creating. So, but because most people talk about AI now is about LLM. So, and we're also at the level where the AI is also taking into consideration our own context. So we are raising innovators, but we don't have enough the critical mass that will help us to push to where we're supposed to be as a nation.
We need to continue to push the envelope behind AI innovation. How are we catalyzing innovation in different sectors, right? And we continue to do that today. For instance, through our Science Research and Innovation Council, we fund a number of AI companies, actually, in different sectors. The second principle is contextual relevance, right? How are you, for a sector-specific issue, what kind of LLMs are you using, right, to anticipate problems in that particular sector, right? And so, in terms of reviewing that, right, how do things match? As this sector is growing, how are you preparing to build with that sector? So contextual relevance is very important. Then you have responsibility, right? Responsibility is a key principle behind our AI guidelines. How are you building with people's data?
The consensus is that Africa must not just be a consumer of global tech, it needs to lead, and that means investing in people, platforms and policies that will turn innovation into real, lasting impact.